Hi everyone, this is Michelle, your word wizard and brand rebel. And in this video, I would like to talk to you shortly about how important it is to not just be yourself when you're branding your business or when you are the representative of your brand. See, here's the thing. You've started a business and of course you feel directly connected to it. And you might even be the face of your business. And that is all fabulous. That is great. But you are not necessarily a copy, or your business is not necessarily a copy of who you are. And the fact is actually that if you are just going to copy your personal values onto your brand values, then it could be that you're missing out on some opportunities here. So what do I mean with that? This is hard for me to talk as a word wizard, apparently. Anyway, ignore that. What do I mean with that? What I mean is that as a person, there might be things that are really important to you and that you value, and you think that you feel that certain behavior needs to match with who you want to be, how you want to be seen. And yes, that's all very important. But then you have a brand, you have a business with a specific product. And who you are as a person, you could have different brands, you could have different products, you could have different ways in which your talent and your skills come to life, in which you're manifesting this. And the thing is that ideally you want your brand and the product to emphasize certain values that there needs to be some kind of connection. So let me give you an example. So for me personally, I love experience beauty. So in my life, it's very important for me to go to a museum and appreciate nature and, just embrace all the beauty that there is in this world. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this would be my core value in my business as well. In fact, in my business, I choose to have a little bit of a raw style, actually, not necessarily the picture perfect idea. And in fact, there are other values that I emphasize more in my business, because the product that I'm selling is actually, I'm a teacher. I sell courses. I help people to build a brand themselves and understand what you need if you're an entrepreneur to build your brand. So it is a lot more important, makes a lot more sense to emphasize the value of growth and development than necessarily the value of beauty, which is for me as a person, as a person, that is very important. But in my brand, I emphasize some other things. So you need to understand that it's not necessarily the same. And there's a second reason why you don't just want to think of yourself as the brand. If you're setting up a business, of course your personal brand is important, but if you're only going to stick to who you are or who you think you are, you might be missing out. So what do I mean with that? Well, we all have an idea of who we are, and we have certain beliefs about ourselves. So it might be that someone gives you an idea like, look here, what do you think about this? Might this suit you? Maybe this is something for you to explore. And you'll be like, nah, I don't think so. It doesn't really match with my personality or something. And it could be that you're right, but it could also be that you're wrong. Because here's the thing, sometimes we cherish certain beliefs about who we are, and up to some point that's fine, but it could be that there's so much more beyond our scope or beyond our focus that could actually help us grow even more. So if we're just sticking to being ourselves and sticking to the idea that we have about ourselves, we might be selling ourselves short. So the idea is that sometimes you try something that is not necessarily who you are, who you think you are. Maybe sometimes you try something completely new and discover that it's more you than you ever imagined. I never identified myself with being a speaker. I identified with being a writer. I thought that I was meant to be writing, and I was meant to use words, you know, like use ink on paper. And that was just what I thought I was meant to do here. But the thing is, that was just a limiting belief. That was just a limiting thought, because I realized that my skills, if I'm just using it on paper, for me, it felt like I was selling myself short. So instead, now I try to use words on a different level. I use my voice, I speak. And that was because people challenged me, because people told me, you know, yeah, there's so much more. Maybe you are the channel. Maybe there's so much more than you think you are. And actually that got me to grow to different levels in my business. So in essence, don't just be yourself. Try to be more than you are, you know, try to really live up to your potential and expand that, and check very thoroughly what is it that you want to manifest with your brand. And, you know, sometimes that means that you're going out of your comfort zone, but I can assure you that wonderful things are about to happen. All right, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. I hope that this helps. If so, please give me a like, share it with people, share it on your social media, and check my other videos, of course. I'd be happy to help you build your brand thoroughly. And for now, I'm going to wish you a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.